So while I was having an enjoyable day with my family today, a family and loved ones out there of 8 people are having the worst day of their life. They've lost someone to suicide, and they will never know or understand the reasons why. They'll blame themselves and go through a really long journey of grief. 2015 statistics show that on average 8.3 people die by suicide each day. And to those 8, it's estimated that another 30 actually attempted. That calculates to 210 people attempting to end their lives every week, and 65,300 in a year. These statistics are very alarming, and I think it's time we stop thinking that it won't happen to us, that we're not going to lose someone to suicide. This part of the thinking is actually part of the problem and not part of the solution. So I was 15 years old when I had my first exposure to suicide. I didn't personally know the teenage boy, but I knew many who did. I thought it was quite sad that people were affected and they really would never know or understand the reasons. I supported those that I knew, but I honestly thought that it would never happen to me. 6 months later, I had the worst day of my life. Not only did I lose someone very close to me, but I never will know or understand the reasons why. I not only had to face the journey of grieving her, but the recovery and counselling for myself. Let's backtrack a little bit. I was a 15-year-old girl enjoying life. Well, I guess not really the school part of it, but I love the social aspect. I had an amazing group of friends, but an even better best friend. We were inseparable, and to this day, she is still the closest friend I have ever had. I knew something was up. She was coming to school very tired and was often quite down. She would make excuses, and I believed her. She was never hungry, and her mood would change very suddenly, from happy to upset. She also started to withdraw from me a little. When I spoke to her about it, she would then make excuses again and tell me everything was okay. She was just having a bit of a downtime, but she'd get through it. I told her that I was there for her, but really, again, didn't think much of it. I mean, it's normal for teenage girls to go through that sort of stuff. No, it's not normal. Yes, teenage girls go through different stages, but not stages like these. I realised this once it was too late. The realisation hit me and took every bit of strength out of me, not only on the night that I lost her, but on the night that I was also the one to find her. The days, weeks, months, and even years after that night were a very long journey for me. I blamed myself for a very long time. Maybe I could have helped her more. Why didn't I know something was wrong? And the what ifs. The what ifs absolutely destroyed me. They tore me apart. I spent my first few weeks thinking about, well, what if this happened? Well, what if I had done this? But after a while, I realised that unfortunately, no matter what I thought, she was gone and she wasn't coming back. It took me a while to get to this point. Some days I would be okay, and other days I would spiral back into the what ifs. It was a big point of realisation, which absolutely devastated me, but it was also the first step in my journey through the grief. The hard part was, no matter what other people told me, it was a realisation that I had to come to on my own and in my own time. I went through the normal grieving process after this, but I struggled, and I still struggle to this day, not knowing why she left us. I miss her and I miss our friendship dearly. During my process of grief, I started talking to a guy who had also lost someone to suicide 6 months before me. This was one of the things that really helped me. It was nice seeing someone that had been through what I had, and he was actually doing okay. There was obviously a light at the end of the tunnel. To this day, I'm very grateful to him and my amazing family and their help to get me through. I guess I should be grateful for him. I married him 3 years later. Once I was through the darkest points of the grieving process, I started looking for information on the warning signs of suicide and discovered that unfortunately my friend had shown a few of them. And that maybe if I had have known them, I could have done something. So I decided that although it wasn't going to bring her back, I didn't want anyone else to go through what I was going through. So my now hubby and I decided we wanted to raise awareness of the suicide warning signs. So our amazing journey of suicide prevention started, and boy did we do some amazing things and learnt so much on that journey. This was 6 years ago, back in a time where suicide was very taboo. There was a lot of shame and blame around it. It wasn't something people talked about, and if it was brought up, people were quite uncomfortable. It's amazing to see how far we've come. It's no longer as taboo, and there's so many amazing resources and helplines out there. We did a lot of research. We talked to counsellors, psychologists, and people from Beyond Blue, and the 7 warning signs of suicide were created. Now, everyone is different, and some people do show all these signs, and others show absolutely none. But if you know someone who is showing 2 or more of these, then it is a good idea to get in contact with someone who can help. So the warning signs are as follows: talking or writing about wanting to die or suicide, feelings of being trapped or hopeless, a belief of being a burden or not being enough, dramatic change in personality, mood or appearance, withdrawing from friends, family and social activities, changes in eating and sleeping habits, and saying goodbye or giving personal belongings away. There are amazing resources and places to go if you notice these, like the Beyond Blue helpline, the Lifeline helpline, the Suicide Callback Service, the Conversations Matter website, and also local counsellors. Please reach out. I learnt so much about suicide in this journey. I never understood why a person would suicide. Why would they leave all their loved ones left behind? I then learnt that people who do suicide actually believe strongly that the world and their loved ones would be better off without them. This information really upsets me. To be in a point in your life where you really believe and feel this, it must be such a lonely place. How are we letting people get to this point, and where are we going wrong with supporting each other and being there for each other? Then there are those who have amazing support and aren't alone, but they still suicide. It really just all doesn't make sense to me. If anyone is listening to this who feels any of these symptoms themselves or is feeling suicidal, please know that you're not alone. There are so many people who are there to support you, and many people who have gone through what you are. Talk to someone about it, even if it's one of the helplines mentioned before. So you might be thinking, how can I help? There are many different ways. Knowing the warning signs can help if you know someone who is showing them. Knowing the helplines and resources available. Being there for people and really listening to them, especially if you know someone who's down at the moment. And of course, just be friendly and smile, even those who you don't know. There are some amazing stories about people doing simple things like these and saving people from suiciding. So some of you may have heard the story of Don Richie. He lived next to the Gap, which is a cliff in Sydney and known for many suicide attempts. Whenever he noticed someone standing on the cliff, he would go up and ask, "Is there something I can do to help you?" This would be enough for them to turn around. He would then start up a conversation, invite them into his home, offer them a cup of tea, and just listen and have a talk with them. He officially saved 160 people's lives, and his family believe the actual number is close to 500 people. He saved so many lives just by being a caring person, listening, being there for them, and helping them through that moment. Another amazing story of a simple gesture is about a young girl on the brink of ending her life. She tried to find pleasure in life with drugs, and this started leaving her more empty and alone. She then started prostitution to pay for those drugs. She was at the point where she was homeless, on the streets, poor, broken, alone, with no desire to wake up the next day. And she was only 18. She woke up one morning and decided today would be the day she would end her misery and her pain. She started her walk to the Golden Gate Bridge, where she had planned to jump off. She passed crowds of people who were too ashamed to look her in the eyes. The people who were in a rush to get somewhere didn't even look at her, and those who did gave her a look of disgust and pity. But she didn't care anymore. She kept on walking, looking down at her feet. She accidentally looked up once, and in that moment, a young man just smiled at her for a mere second. This one smile stopped her in her tracks. He didn't stop and say anything, he just smiled and kept walking on with his day. That smile was enough for her because finally one person had looked at her. One person in the crowd of hundreds didn't judge her for her outward appearance and look at her with disgust. One person looked at her long enough to make her turn around and walk away from that bridge. Enough for her to have hope that she actually had a purpose in life. That there were people out there, like this man, who could look past her past, look beyond her past and current condition, and help her create a better future for herself. She continued for many years, got married, had grandchildren, and continued to share this story her whole life. That one smile literally saved her life. So I am a mother of 2, and the thought of them going through what I did absolutely breaks my heart. We will need to take steps together to decrease the rates of suicide. So knowing the warning signs and what to do, be kind to people, ask if they're okay. Really listen to the people you care about, smile. Like I said, a simple smile can change someone's day. And stop thinking that this won't happen to you, so I don't need to do anything about it. And last of all, reach out when you're feeling down. Let's all do our part to help decrease those rates. Don't leave it till you're in my position and have lost someone you love and now have to continue your life without them. Thank you.